Let's go. It's your man Mike Bowens coming to you once again live and direct. Listen, this message has been a special request. This message is entitled Steps to Treating Your Woman Like a Queen. Steps to Treating Your Woman Like a Queen. You know, a lot of people have wrote to me about this particular topic. You know, Mike, I like that, treat your woman like a queen, but I need the steps of how to treat my woman like a queen. So here's a few steps that I'm going to give you. Number one is to communicate effectively. Now, I'm going to say that again. Communicate effectively. What do I mean by that? That means that when you're talking to your spouse, or you're talking to your lady, are you clear in what it is that you're trying to say? Or do you speak in codes? Are you clear what it is that you need for them? Are you clear on where you're trying to take them as the man of the house or the man in their life? Are you clear, or are your words mumbled, or are you not clear? Or are you a person who's short-tempered and you get upset so fast that you can't communicate effectively? And also, communicating is not with just your words, but also your body language. What are you saying with your body? What are you saying with the way you move? Also, your voice, is it loud? Are you snappy? Is your voice too low where they can't hear you? Are you too loud where they don't want to hear you? You know, so all those things you have to take into consideration. Also, communicating effectively is, for example, this is something that I used to struggle with. If I was going through something, my wife would say to me, "Honey, are you okay?" Knowing that I wasn't okay, I said, "I'm fine." And that's a lie. Because instead of me saying, "This is how I feel about this and this is how I feel about that," why would I just say everything's all right? And see, a lot of times we do that in relationships. When something is bothering you, instead of sitting down with the person and communicating effectively, saying what's really on your heart, what's really on your mind, so that you can talk to her and let her know exactly how you feel. Because guess what, fellas? Your woman wants to hear from you. She wants to hear what you have to say. She wants to hear your thoughts. She wants to hear your heart. It's not enough to just to say, "Don't you know I love you? I pay the bills. I buy you this. I buy you that." That's all good. Continue to do those things. However, she wants to hear you say, "I love you." She wants to hear what's in your heart. She wants to hear your frustration. She wants to hear your dreams. She wants to hear maybe your fears. But she also wants to hear a plan of how you plan to overcome those fears. Right? And especially now with everything that's going on in the world with the pandemic and everything like that, we need to be able to communicate. You don't want to be stuck in a house with somebody that you cannot talk to. You don't want to be in a room with somebody where you can't stand their guts. You want to be in a place where you both can talk and you can communicate effectively. And especially as a man, you got to be the leader. You got to be the person who sets the tone. Like, you're like the thermostat in a relationship. And you got to understand that you got to be the leader, and you got to be the person to say, "Okay, listen, let's sit down and let's talk." And some people are not there yet. And you got to look at yourself and say, "Am I there yet? And what can I do better to develop myself to get to the place where I can sit down and talk to you effectively about A, B, C, and D without blowing the fuse or getting upset and walking away, because that's immature." However, if you know you're not there yet, then you got to work on that. You got to ask God to help you, right? By prayer, right? You got to read books. And you also have to have some practice runs. Listen, let's sit down, let's talk about something. And guess what? If it feels like it's overwhelming for you, you take a break. Listen, let's just take a break for a second. Well, if you know you're not there yet, well, that's something that you know you have to work on. So after you do a few test runs with your spouse, with your lady, you sit down and you're talking with her, and you feel yourself getting upset, you feel yourself getting mad, you know, you're like, "Man, maybe I need to take a break." Another thing you could do is, why don't you write down the questions that you have, and then you ask her these questions, right? It almost takes the guesswork out of it, because if she gives you an answer that you're not looking for, if it's not written down, sometimes you can go to a space where it's almost like the point of no return for some people. You get so mad that it just catch you off guard. But if you write down your questions and sit down and say, "Listen, this is some questions that I want to ask you," right? Another step to have an effective relationship and treating your lady like a queen is doing the little things, right? Being proactive. Now, when you're in the house with a woman, right? though there's like certain things that a woman would do. She may do laundry, she may cook, she may keep the room clean, whatever. But how about you sometimes just doing the laundry just because? How about you sometimes doing the dishes just because? How about you just taking the vacuum or the broom and going throughout the house, sweeping and cleaning just because? See, sometimes we get so locked into our roles that we say, you know what, I'm not going to do this or I'm not going to do that because she does it. But if you do these things, it takes the pressure off of her, right? You're being proactive. You're thinking ahead. How about you just buy her flowers just because? Not because she asked you to do it, but just because. It's the little things. How about you write love notes and give it to her just because? How about you just walk up to her, you see she's having a hard day, just give her a hug. Let her cry on your shoulders. Be a support system. You know, and by doing things like this, you are putting your woman first. You are putting your relationship first. You are putting your relationship in a good place. Another step could be listening to your woman's needs, right? Sometimes, listen, this is going to be a big one because a woman could be saying to you, I don't want to live in this particular place no more. I don't want to be here no more. I don't like the way this neighborhood makes me feel, just for example. But you like, you know what, I don't know, I like it here and I want to be here. And it don't really bother me. But how can two be happy if two are not in agreement? Not saying you're always going to give her way, but if what she's saying has some validation, then why not put your relationship in a place of peace? Why not put your relationship in a place, in a position where you both could be happy? So you mean to tell me you won't move because you like it, but she don't like it there? And it's like, can you be happy somewhere else? Or you just can't be happy at all unless you stay where you are. So if you do that, you're going down two different paths. So what I'm trying to say is, listen to her needs. If she's saying to you, I feel stressed out because of this particular situation, you just ignore it and put the football game on. Are you being attentive? Right? The Bible says, dwell together with your spouse with all knowledge and understanding. Dwell with them with understanding, dwell with them with knowledge. That means you got to study the person that you're with. What makes them happy? What makes them sad? What makes them discouraged? What makes them feel good? And when you begin to do these things, guess what? You begin to put your relationship in a position of power as opposed to a relationship of weakness. Now I have many more steps I can just lay out, but I just want to give you those 3 for now. And write me down in the comment section. Tell me if this is helping you as you put it into action in your life. This is your man Mike Bowens, and I'm signing off until next time saying be blessed.